Hello and welcome to the virtual celebration of the Spring Jubilee. This summer is the 10th anniversary of the Nature Explorium.
Though we are so excited to celebrate a decade of outdoor learning, we really wish we were celebrating in person with you in the Explorium.
Typically, the Spring Jubilee is held in our Nature Explorium. There are activities for each of the areas in our space and live music.
We cannot wait for the day we see our families able to return to play in our space again. We miss hearing the sounds of the marimba, the splashes from children playing in the water feature, and parents and children together playing with blocks, reading a book under a tree, or getting messy in our mud kitchen.
Today we will be celebrating virtually. For each of our spaces, play it, splash it, create it, build it, read it, grow it, dig it, and climb it. We will be sharing activities that you can easily create in your own backyard.
We hope you are able to spend time outside in nature every day and can replicate some of the fun you experienced in the Nature Explorium in your backyard.
Hi everyone, I'm here in Nature Explorium in the Create It area, and one of the fun things we have to do here in Create It is our Buddha boards, where you can paint with water and then it simply evaporates and you paint something new. You can do this at home, even if you have some slate, or my house has brick front on it and my kids used to always paint with water on that. It works well on concrete. If you don't have a regular paintbrush, if you want to use a foam brush, or even if you have something like a turkey baster, that works as well. So great fun activity for the warm weather with the kids. Another great feature that we have here in the Create It area is our nature mosaic table. And here we keep things like shells and little rocks and little cones that you can make a nature mosaic piece of art with. It's really simple. You would just take, whatever you have that you want to work with. I think I'm just going to make a circle with the rocks. And I'm just going to do this kind of quick. You could spend more time on it if you'd like. I'm going to put some of my little cones. These little cones fall down, tons of them from a tree in my yard. So I like to use these for crafts and nature things. And you can look around by you and see what you have that would be fun to use. And I'm going to put some of my flowers in the middle. And this is my little piece of nature art. This is temporary art. If you want to save it, you could always take a photo and then you'd have it. But the idea is here we just, put it back for the next person to use. And it's certainly something that you could have fun with at home as well. The other thing that I was going to show you today is you might have noticed that I'm wearing a bracelet that I made out of flowers. I actually made this last night and it stayed pretty well overnight, I think. I used it just making with some painter's tape. You could use masking tape. Measured out, how much I needed. And then I found some flowers in my yard. You could go on a little hike and see what you find or whatever you have around by you. I wanted to use dandelions, but the lawn had already been cut and they were gone. So I found these nice azaleas on my bushes. You can put some leaves. You don't have to use flowers. Whatever you find that you'd like to use and put down onto the tape, it will stick. And you can make a really pretty little bracelet for yourself. Then you can just have someone help you put it on. And there we go.
So here we are in our Build It area of the Nature Explorium, and I'm going to show you some different ways to make mazes. So today we made a maze out of rocks, and you can use any size rocks you want. You can use really big ones, really small ones. These I had just gotten from my yard actually. I have a lot of rocks, and you can just spend the time making a maze for your children. You can have your kids make it with you. I have to say it was really stress relieving to sit and figure out different angles for the cars to go through and figuring out just one entrance and one exit. So we have our entrance here for our cars. And you could do this with any transportation vehicles, or if you just want to have the kids kind of tiptoe through it, they could do that too. And this one has a lot of different curves and things, so if they get to a dead end and they can't get out, they just can turn it right back around. And there's some different ways around it to get the cars through. Our exit is to the right. The other thing that you can do is make it with sticks. So you can find sticks. A lot of us have sticks hanging around our yard, and I'll show you a video of what we did in my yard with our sticks, and we had my kids go through the maze. But yeah, it's a really easy, fun way to spend some time outside, just laying it out, changing it around, figuring out different ways to do it. And something that a whole family could do together and work together with.
Hi everybody, welcome to our Diggit area. I'm Miss Kristen, and who doesn't love dirt? Well, I came up with some ideas that you can do at home to kind of feel like you're in our Diggit area here at the Nature Explorium. So, one of the things that myself and my daughter did was we collected rocks. So we collected rocks from all over on our walks and places we were going, and we started by painting all the rocks. And then to do some letter practice and number practice, we put letters and numbers on our rocks. And then what we do is we take dirt from our backyard or anywhere around our house that we have anything that's dirt-like, and we put them in bins. And then we hide the rocks, and we uncover them so that we can do our number and our letter practice in the dirt. So when you uncover the rocks, you're looking for either numbers or letters on them. And what I did, if you're a little older and you kind of know all your numbers and all your letters already, you can do different things, like math equations on them. So you can put 1 + 1, and then on the back it would say 2, and it would show you if you're right. So you would get the rock, look at the math equation, and find the answer on the back. Also, if you have any toys laying around the house, like bugs, I know we have all kinds of creepy creatures, like we have animal figures, and we have bug figures, and even some of like your dolls, we like to have them play in the mud. So what we do is we put our figures in, and we dig through the dirt and find our figures again. I just think getting dirty is a lot of fun, and we definitely miss being able to do it in a big area, but doing it here is just as fun at home. We can't wait to see you again soon. Hope you enjoy it at home. Bye!
Hi. So we are in the mud kitchen. It is located in our Nature Explorium right next to our Diggit area. We added it a few years ago. And I just wanted to show you how, even if you don't have a full outdoor kitchen in your backyard, there are many ways that you could do outdoor kitchen play in your backyard. Very cheap, easy. So I have, some dirt from our Diggit area. Usually you would like sand or dirt to do this. Water is always good to make mud. If you have some either outdoor bowls that your kids already play with, or even like pails you could use. This is like a metal one that was nice, so it feels realistic for the kids. So using things like that, molding mud or sand to make like something like a cake is always really fun. You could incorporate things like rocks. They could be sprinkles in your cake. You could use leaves. You could use shells that you get at the beach to put them in. A lot of times if you're making things like cakes and cake pans or cupcakes, things like sticks could become candles in your cake for them to sing happy birthday and blow out the candles. Another way, if you really would like some kind of kitchen setup, there are very cheap and easy ways of materials that are in your house to make a little outdoor kitchen. So I have a crate that I had in my garage using scarves or some kind of tablecloth. Dish towels, you could put it on top and it would become a table, so they could actually set the table with their, toys. We brought some indoor play food outdoors. You could even use rocks and paint them as peppers and carrots and things for them to play with and mix in their bowls. I know my children just love to pour things. They could spend hours pouring things. So if you have any play items or old items for your kitchen, of coffee cups or teapots, those are really fun to play with. Little cups that have holes or spouts in them. Sometimes the dollar store you could find them, or sometimes library. This is the library prize from a reading club. Measuring cups, measuring spoons are fun to play with, and you can use spoons to mix your stuff, but I like a stick. A stick is very natural and fun to play with when you're making your mixtures. Other ways to extend your play, it would be something like bringing out clipboards. Kids like to use clipboards. You could sketch and stuff like that with them. I know sometimes you can make a menu. So my kids were playing outside, and we actually have an old phone that we brought outside with us to play. So this was like an old-fashioned one we had from many years ago, but we even have old cell phones, a toy phone. And my kids started using it as like taking orders. They were saying they were the pizza place and they were McDonald's. So they started cooking things for it, and they started making vegan salads and fish soup and stuff like that. So they were making menus up. So bringing a clipboard, a play phone, even like colanders like this will extend their play a little bit more advanced. So just giving them props, even the play food is a prop, and they'll extend their play outside with that. If you happen to have old pallets, those are really great to turn into also a kitchen. You could use tree stumps and put the pallet on top, and that could be their cooking surface or a surface for them to use as a table. Or even if you have a play table outside, put it outside and they can just work on that. So I just want to show you the ideas, bringing mud and sand and rocks and shells, sticks, and how they could cook with those, and they could spend, I swear, a day outside using these materials and really having a good time. So I hope you do it, and post your pictures if you do them.
Hi everybody, welcome to our newly renovated Slate Stage. On our stage for the last 10 years that our Explorium has been open, children of all ages have been able to experiment with different kinds of instruments and different kinds of things to enhance their music and movement activities. So some of the things that we keep out on our stage all the time, we keep out some of these scarves. These are super fun for dancing and moving. You can experiment with up and down and right and left. This can be a sun. This can be fire burning. Really great to aid in imaginative play. So if you don't have these at home, that's okay. One thing that you could use instead would be like a tea towel or dish towel. These are from my house. So I have a yellow one, my yellow sun, and some green grass. Another thing that we keep in our basket on our stage are these fun wands. They have bells and ribbons. You can swing them when you're dancing. If you don't have these at home, that's quite all right. You can actually make them. Here I've made this one with just pipe cleaners in a circle, and I've added some ribbons. So these are something that you can make at home to kind of get that same experience. We also have some shakers that we keep up here. Shakers are super easy to make. All we need is a little plastic egg. You can fill it up with beans or rice or little macaroni. Wrap some tape around it, and you have a very simple shaker. If you want to make it a little more exciting, you can grab some spoons, put your spoons around there, and tape those down like I did here, and you have a maraca. So all the fun stuff that we have here in our basket, you can easily do at home. Another type of shaker you can make is a paper plate shaker. Super duper easy, 2 paper plates, some rice or beans inside, tape the sides, and shake away. All right, another super fun thing we keep on our stage is our percussion instruments. We have all different types of drums. We have some lap drums. We have these drums here. And we even have just some sticks, super simple. It's a great thing for kids to practice with rhythm and keeping rhythm. You can play certain games like match the rhythm. A lot of this stuff is also very easy to do at home. You can do a basic coffee can drum, kind of like these. And here I have my tin can drums. Just like these, they're different sizes, so they make a different sound. The way that I made these, just regular tin cans, and on top is actually a balloon. If you cut the top of your balloon, like so, stretch it right over your tin can. And you're going to want to make sure that you take the tin cans off with an opener that makes sure that the top is not sharp, because nobody wants that. Stretch it right over. You might need a rubber band to hold it. Mine were staying on their own. And here you go. If you don't have a mallet, you can use anything to tap your drum. I actually have a colored pencil. All right, so that's about it for our Play It stage. Have fun at home making instruments and all types of things to enhance your music and movement, and we can't wait to see you at our stage again soon.
Hi everyone, I'm here in the Nature Explorium, and I have a really simple water activity. We're near the Splash It area that you can do with your children at home. All you need is a small plastic container with water and different natural materials that you can find in your yard. I have rocks, twigs, some bark, and different leaves and other materials that I found on the ground. What's really great about this activity is first you can talk to your kids and ask them what objects do you think will sink and what objects they think will float. You can talk about the different characteristics and incorporate some of that vocabulary while you're doing this, like I think that the rock is heavy, so the rock will sink. I think that the twig will float because it's light. So you can use different vocabulary terms. We've got some leaves. You can also talk about how they feel, if they think that they feel that they're light and that they will float on top. You could have also your kids do a sorting activity first and decide if they want to start with the bigger rock or the smaller rock. And again, you can sort first if you like and have them try it that way. You can swirl things around, and we can also see if putting one object on top of another one will help it float or help it sink. So first I'll start with a rock, and I would ask if you think that this will sink. So we place it in, and because it's heavy, it goes right to the bottom. Then you can take a twig, and you could say, do you think this will sink or float? And when you place it in, okay, the twig floats on top. We've got some bark that we found in the backyard, and we can place it in. And again, our bark will float. And then we've got different, we've got some dandelions, and we can just place them in. Some leaves from the yard that we can place in, and we can drop it. And we see that our rocks, our heavier objects, go right to the bottom, and our lighter ones, like our leaves and our twigs and bark, all stay on top. But then you can swirl it around, and you can ask the kids what they think will happen, or you can take one object and ask the kids, do you think if you put a rock on top of the leaf, it will make the leaf sink? And we see that it does. So it's a very simple activity that you can do in the backyard, but there's lots of different vocabulary that you can use with them. You can sort first. You can use words like heavier, lighter, bigger, smaller, lots of different ways to expand the vocabulary, and just a simple water activity. I have another really simple water activity that you can do at home with your children. This is called a tinfoil river, and we're going to be probably spending a lot of time in our backyards this summer. So you just take regular tinfoil that you have at home. You can make it actually as long as you like, or shorter. I would look for an area that has a slight incline in your backyard, but if you don't have an incline, you can prop it up with some bricks if you have it, just to have an incline up so the water flows downward. That you can find in your backyard. I've got twigs, and I've got some rocks, and some leaves, and little bottle caps that we weigh down with Play-Doh. They can be like little boats that float down. any natural items that your children have that they come across. You can do like a little scavenger hunt, collect the materials, set up your tin foil, and just create a river using a hose. So just, a really simple activity on a hot summer day that will really keep them entertained for, a good time.
Hi, I'm here in the climate area of the Nature Explorium and just was going to share with you a few ideas of how you could replicate some of the things that we have here in climate at home. We do have our ABC trail, which the kids hop from tree stump to tree stump, and then there's the balance beam. The balance beam part is really easy to recreate at home if you have a flat area and you might have like a 2x4, or even if you just have a piece of rope that you want to lay down, and then the kids can, balance walk across it. Or if you want to do it on concrete or asphalt, you could just, draw a line with chalk. Another thing that we have here in the climate area is we have our platforms with our beautiful big pieces of gauzy, colorful fabric, which the kids will put across the areas, make it so that they can go under it or over it, sit under it. You can do this at home by using a tablecloth or sheets, maybe a couple of lawn chairs. Definitely something that you could recreate the idea at home. And then the other thing we have that the kids love is our tunnels that they crawl through. So this morning I made a little tunnel out of some pool noodles. So they're very inexpensive. You can pick them up for about $1 a piece. And I just used some plastic stakes, and I didn't have enough plastic stakes, so I used a few sticks that I found, and you just stick those in the ground and put the pool noodles on, and there you have a tunnel that the kids can crawl through. So I hope you have some fun with some climbing and crawling activities at home, and hope to see you in the Nature Explorium soon.